Hey, so I was out recording for a video. I was recording for the Inscryption video, and I heard I'm outside my house. I thought I heard something weird. I think it's probably just a possum or something. I don't really know. But the noise stopped as soon as I got outside, so I'm not really sure what it was. Yeah, I don't know. Wait.
Ugh, what happened? Something seems different. I'm sure it's nothing. I wouldn't worry about it. So, Inscryption, huh? It's an okay game, I guess. I mean, it's fine. I don't really have very strong feelings on it. Just kidding! This is my favorite game of all time, and I'm so happy to talk about it. This is the most excited I've been to make a video since I made the channel. I've had fun making all my videos. This is... Dude, I can't even begin to describe how much I love this game. Everything about it just brings me so much joy. The soundtrack is nothing but bangers. The sound design... Usually I don't really pay attention to sound design in games, but the sound design in this game is freaking insane. And the characters are so charming, and I love them all so much, except for one, but we'll get to him. I hate him. And the art style for every section of this game is just immaculate. I hesitate to call anything perfect, right? But if a video game can be perfect, then I'm pretty sure this is as close to perfect as a game can be, in my humble opinion. This is the best game I've ever played in my life. The only reason I would say Deltarune isn't my favorite game yet is because it's technically not finished, so I'm gonna wait for it to be finished before I label it my favorite game, because who knows, maybe the ending will be horrible and I'll hate it. I don't know. I doubt it. Anyway, but until that day, Inscryption is my favorite game ever, and I'm so happy I get to talk about it. If I can convince at least one person to check this game out, either by playing it or watching a playthrough, I will be happy, because apparently not a lot of y'all know about this game. I had a poll up a few days ago asking if anybody knew about this game, and apparently most of you haven't even seen a playthrough for this game. So yeah, I'm hoping I can convert some of y'all. I'm gonna put you on peak. So obviously this video is gonna have a lot of spoilers. So if you want to go into this game blind, which I would highly recommend, then I would just save this video for later. But if you don't really care too much about spoilers, then full steam ahead, I guess. Alright, so let's start with... So we play as Luke Carter, a YouTuber whose content is focused on opening card packs while talking about the history of said cards. He buys a couple packs of Inscryption cards at a yard sale. In this universe, Inscryption is a little card game, like Pokemon or something. He buys a bunch of packs at a yard sale for basically dirt cheap, and while he's opening them for a video, he finds coordinates to some random location on one of the cards. Naturally, Luke goes there and he digs up a floppy disk labeled Inscryption, which is really weird because in this universe, the company that owns Inscryption Game Funa went defunct around the 90s and never made anything other than cards. So finding any technological thing involved with Inscryption is just really weird. So obviously, as soon as he gets home, he boots up the game, finding that the new save button is missing and just not working for some reason, so he has no choice but to use the continue button. And once the game starts, we meet my personal favorite character, Leshy. who's just this very well-spoken, like, cryptid man who just really, really likes playing games. And he basically just gives Luke a little tutorial about the mechanics, which I will do now, actually, because the mechanics are somewhat relevant to the story, and I feel like I'm gonna forget to mention them if I don't do it now, so... Alright. So, how Leshy's inscription works is almost every card costs something. Like, for the most part, you can't just put down a card as soon as you get it. You have to get rid of another card or sacrifice it. Usually you use squirrel cards, which are specifically made to be sacrificed. They don't do any attack, they don't do anything. You're just meant to kill them so you can put down your own cards. And the cost of a card is usually dependent on how good its stats are. Like, if you have a really strong card, usually it costs about 3 blood. If you have, like, a medium card, it usually costs 2. And if you have a relatively weak card, it'll be 1 or even 0 if it's, like, super weak and useless. And all of the cards in Leshy's inscription are animals, and they all have different abilities. Like, ravens can fly, which means they can attack over cards to get at the board behind it. And then there's mantises, which can attack 2 spaces instead of just the 1, and so on and so forth. There's like a million different things. Not literally, but there's a lot. And how you win the game is there's this little scale, and every time you deal damage, it adds some teeth to the scale. And teeth are like what's used as like money and also like to represent damage. If you do more damage than you need to do at the finishing blow, then you get to keep the teeth that are left over to use as money later on at little shops. And there's also tools that you can get at different spots on the map. Like, you can get an extra squirrel card, or scissors, which means you can just immediately get rid of a card from Leshy's side. And there's also pliers, which you can use to pull out your own teeth to give yourself some extra points if you're in a tough spot. And later on, you also get a knife, which you can use to stab out your own eyeball, which is actually very important to the story. And we'll get to that in a second. And stabbing out your eyeball is extremely useful, because if you're like in a really tight spot and you're about to lose, then you can like use your own eyeball as a weight to the scale, and it's a lot heavier than teeth, so it's very helpful. And you have 2 lives, so if you lose 2 rounds, then you just lose the whole game. Unless she takes you out back and takes a picture of you, which turns you into a card, which you can decide like its stats for based on the cards that you had in your deck. Like, you can pick how many sacrifices it costs, or how much attack it has, and all that stuff, and like sigils and stuff. It's very cool. You can make some of the most like broken cards that way. And this death card, if you're lucky, you can find it the next time you play, and you can just use it. It's very cool. And as you can see, I'm currently making death cards of my characters, which is very fun. And yeah, those are all the basic mechanics. So now that you understand how the game itself works, I can focus on the story. So after Leshy gives like his little tutorial on how to play the game, Luke realizes that one of his cards can talk. It's a little stoat card. So it's like kind of like a little weasel, I think. I'm not 100% sure. But it can talk, and it's very sassy, and it's very annoyed. But Leshy gets really angry if the stoat talks for too long, so it mostly just kind of shuts up after a few minutes. And as you explore Leshy's cabin, because it's just like one little room, you can't really do much else other than play the game and like explore the little room that you're in. You start to find little puzzles, which can like get you more cards, and eventually, in a safe, you find another card, but this one can also talk, and it's a little stink bug. And she's a lot nicer than the stoat. And she and the stoat start talking like, hey, do you know how to get out of here? No, I don't remember anything. Aw, darn, well, I guess we need to get him. And Stoat's like, oh no, I hate that guy. And you don't know who they're talking about. But eventually, as you're as you continue playing, after you die a certain amount of times, you're able to take the camera before Leshy grabs it. And it seems like you're going to be able to beat him by taking a picture of him and turning him into a card, but there's no film in the camera, because Leshy keeps the film on his person and hidden somewhere else. So, you die in that round, but next time, you're given a new mechanic, the knife, which I told you about earlier, and usually, when you stab out your own eyeball, after that round, Leshy gives you a new one. But this time, instead of just like a bunch of like normal-ish eyeballs, there's a glowing one amidst like the sea of eyes. And obviously you're gonna take the one that's glowing and like looks all mysterious. And as soon as you pop that sucker in, you can see everything. There's like a bunch of like secret codes everywhere. And there's one on a cuckoo clock where after you solve the puzzle on there with the help of this magical eyeball, you get another talking card, the Stunted Wolf, as well as a roll of film. And the Stunted Wolf tells you that in order to get the camera from Leshy, you have to beat him in his game. So your goal now is to beat Leshy, obviously. And eventually, you do. And it's one of the coolest boss fights in the game, in my humble opinion, because he cycles through like every mechanic that you've learned. Like every boss fight's unique mechanic, every like little thing that you've had to pick up on, and it ends with you having to destroy the moon, like the literal moon. He takes a picture, he like turns around and takes a picture of the moon, and he uses that to fight you, and it's really awesome. And after you beat him, you're able to take the camera, and he's like, wait, what are you doing? And you pop the film in and you take a picture of him, ending the game. But now, the new save button is working. So you start a new save because there's nothing else to do. Like you killed the main character, he's just not there anymore. So you reboot the game, and it's completely different. Up till now it's been like this like 3D aesthetic, but now it's just pixel art, which is really weird. And it tells you the story of Inscryption, how there's 3 scribes who like are in charge of 3 different types of cards. There's Leshy, he's the scribe of beasts. He uses his camera to take pictures of animals, and his cards are beast cards, and they require sacrifices. But then there's also Gramora, aka the stink bug, who is the scribe of death, and she uses a quill to inscribe her cards, and death cards cost bones, and you get bones by killing your cards. So anytime a card dies, you get some bones from it. And then there's also Magnificus, the Stunted Wolf, who is the scribe of magic, and he uses paint to inscribe his cards. And his mechanic is really confusing. Honestly, I don't understand how it works, because I'm stupid, and it's like much more complicated than the other ones. But I think it's like, so there's like a bunch of different colors, and like they get power from each other and the colors, I don't know. But anyway, then there's PO3, the Stoat, who is the scribe of, I believe, mechanics or machines. I don't remember exactly what his title is, but he's a robot guy, and he uses like an electric scanner to inscribe his cards, and they're all constantly like fighting for power. So your little player character, your little sprite guy, gets to pick which scribe they want to take over for. It doesn't really matter which one you pick, you get a starter deck for their type of card, and the goal of the pixel world is to fight every scribe and like get to know their mechanics and like get to know them as characters. And at first it seems like nobody really remembers what happened in the Leshy inscription, where he turned them all into animal cards and like took over the whole game, until you beat Leshy and PO3 shows up and is like, hey, Leshy, You suck, dude. I'm never gonna be an animal again. Fuck you for turning me into a stoat. I hate you. And then he just dips. I love PO3. He's such a petty bitch. So yeah, after you beat all of the scribes, you go back to the little starter island where you spawned in, and you're supposed to have a climactic final battle with whichever scribe you wanted to take over for. But instead, PO3 shows up and is like, hey, so actually I'm gonna take over the game now, because while you were in his section, every other scribe really wanted to fight you and was very excited and like happy and passionate about the game. But PO3 could not have been less interested in you because he was trying to find something. And he found it. It's like this weird, glitchy mass of like sprites that keep like flickering in and out of reality. It's really creepy the first time you find it, because like it does not belong there. It just feels wrong. And PO3 refuses to fight you until he acquires that, because that's what he's looking for, that is what he wants. So now that he has it, he can take over the game the way Leshy did at the beginning. And so he does. And the screen glitches out a bit, and when it comes back on, PO3 is in charge. He's 3D. He's 3D. It's exactly like Leshy, but, robots now. So you may be wondering how our player character Luke must be reacting to all of this. He's a little freaked out, understandably, because he has no idea what is going on with all this. So he goes to Reddit and is like, hey, did anyone ever play an Inscryption video game? And everyone says no, that's not a thing. So he contacts GameFuna, the company that owns Inscryption, and is like, hey, did you guys ever make a video game? Because I think I found it. And he doesn't get an answer for a while. Until one day, randomly, some lady just shows up at his house, and she is immediately incredibly sketchy. The cutscene, glitches out when she introduces herself, so we don't even know her name. I mean, okay, so we might know her name, but I don't, because there was, a whole ARG thing, so maybe her name is a part of that. I don't really know. I don't know anything about the ARG, sorry. But yeah, this random mystery lady shows up and is like, hey, Luke, so, can we have our game back? I heard you have our game. Can we have our game back? And Luke's very freaked out, and he's like, hey, lady, how did you know where I live? And how did you get past the gate in front of my house? And she, just laughs and refuses to answer him, and she's just like, I'm just gonna need the game back, Luke. And Luke is very scared at this point. He's like, I've never heard of Inscryption in my life. And she does not believe him. But she leaves for now. And he's really unsettled by all of this. But he keeps playing the game, and he's starting to go a little cuckoo, because he feels like he's being watched, which he probably is, just based on how incredibly sketchy that lady was. But anyway, he keeps playing the game, and back in the game world, PO3 has taken over. And unlike Leshy, who was super into the roleplay and just having fun with the game, PO3 does not care. He just wants you to beat the game so that he can do something called the Great Transcendence. We don't know what that is yet. So you're running around the map, doing boss fights, and all the boss fights are really cool. So the first one, so how it works is you have to take a screenshot of the board when it's in your favor, when you're doing really well, and then once you start to not be doing well, you can bring that screenshot back, and you'll be winning again. And then the next fight is the Archivist, which requires, to go through your files in your hard drive, and, you have to use, large files and, old files to, make the scales go down, and, the older or bigger a file is, the more it weighs, which is really cool. And then there's the unfinished boss, where you literally have to create it. You give it a face, and you make its mechanics, which is really cool. And then there's Golly, who connects to the internet, and that's like her whole deal. Like she makes cards out of your Steam friends, which is really neat, and she'll like pull up random pictures and put them on her face. Like, I think at some point, like, she's like, oh, so that's what a mole really looks like, wow, and then it pulls up like a real life picture of a mole, which is really goofy. She's so silly, I love her. And you can also make a card that you have to send out to someone else who's playing Inscryption at the same time you are, and if they win, then you win, but if that card dies, then you lose. Or that's how it's meant to work. But if the game isn't able to find someone who's at the same point in Inscryption that you are, then you'll just have that card to use in your own battle, which is cool. But after you beat all of the bosses, then you will be able to do the Great Transcendence. But first, PO3 asks you to go check something in the basement, because his security camera down there is broken for some reason, and he's a little paranoid about it. So you get up from the table and go check it out. But in the basement are the other scribes, and they're all like, hey, you can't let PO3 do the Great Transcendence. This is really bad. There's some dark stuff on this disc. We can't let this go. We cannot let this happen. And they're basically like, okay, so here's what we're gonna do. You're gonna distract PO3, and then Leshy's gonna kill him. So that's what you do. And then you leave and go back to PO3, who's like, why didn't you fix my security camera? You're so useless. Whatever, it doesn't matter. I'm just gonna do the Great Transcendence, and it's gonna be awesome. And then he basically just has like a villain monologue. He just mocks you for being a gamer, which is really funny. And then he tells you what the Great Transcendence is, and he explains how each boss has helped him to do it. So the Great Transcendence is literally just him uploading Inscryption onto Steam. So you took screenshots for the store page, you let it access your files, you finished the game by finishing the boss, and you gave PO3 access to the internet. You helped finish the game and made it so that he can share it with everyone. And just as he's about to start uploading the game online, Leshy emerges from the darkness and rips off his head and just tosses it aside. And all the other scribes are like, wow, that sure was lucky that we got to it right before he could upload. There's some dark shit on this disc, man. We can't let the old data escape. And then Grimora is like, yeah, we really can't let the old data escape. That's why I'm gonna delete everything on this disc. And then Leshy and Magnificus are like, wait, that'll kill us. Can you not do that? And she's like, no. Too late, I already did it. Lol. So the game starts falling apart because files are being deleted rapidly. You fall through the floor, and you land in Grimora's Inscryption. And the board is a lot different, it's like a little chessboard instead. And you get to know her a little, and you get to fight her, and it's really cool. And she basically, explains why she just did that, why she's destroying their entire world, and why she's cool with it. And she tells you, there's something on this disc called the old data, and if it gets out there, if the wrong people get their hands on it, it'll be really, really bad. So after all the files on this disc are deleted, destroy this disc just in case somebody could recover them. Just completely smash it, obliterate it. I don't know what you need to do, but do it. And just as you're about to have a boss fight with her, which looks like it's gonna be super awesome, because she puts on this pirate mask, and there's this really cool music, and cannons show up, everything gets deleted except for her. And she gets kind of sad, oh, I thought we would have time for a boss fight at least. Oh well. I guess we never have control over how much time we have. Goodbye. And then she shakes your hand and disappears. And then you're sent to Leshy, and this part breaks my heart every time. It makes me so sad. Because you spawn in to the cabin, and it's exactly how you left it when you beat him. You still have the same cards that you had from the last time you played with him, and he doesn't seem bitter or anything. He just wants to play until he dies. He knows that he's about to die soon, but he just wants to keep playing with you until that time comes. And you just talk and play, and it's very, calm. And he compliments your deck and how strong you got and how good at the game you are now. But eventually, the scale, which is how you tell how many points you have, just despawns. But rather than being upset about this, he's just like, that's okay. We don't have to keep score. Let's just keep playing. And you keep playing, but eventually the little bell that decides whose turn it is disappears. And he's like, oh, that's gonna make it a little harder. And then the cards despawn, and the table despawns, and the cabin despawns, and it's just you and him. And he sighs sadly, and he's like, oh, okay. Thank you for playing with me. And then you shake his hand, and he's gone. And it always makes me so sad. But then, it's immediately followed up by Magnificus. And Magnificus isn't like the other scribes. He's fighting back. He does not want to disappear. He doesn't care if the old data is dangerous. He does not care. He just wants to save his own skin. And he tells Luke, hey buddy old pal, I'm your favorite character, right? Maybe? Possibly? Don't you want to, eject the disc before everything is destroyed? You can still save me, right? And then you start fighting him. And I don't know how they do this, but somehow the writers of this game make me sad when he dies, because I genuinely hate Magnificus. He's an abusive, manipulative person, and I despise him. But when it's his time to despawn, he's really far away from you, unlike Grimoire and Leshy. So he has to crawl towards you to be able to shake your hand, and he's desperately trying to get to you, right, because he feels himself starting to fade off, and he's like, I must at least shake your hand, and just as it looks like you're about to make contact, he disappears. And so does the rest of the game. And you're left in this white void with absolutely nothing but the little pixel sprite that you were using during the middle part of the game. So you walk around the void for a little while, until you come across the Woodcarver, who was a character that's been here since Leshy's Inscryption, and been cryptically hinting at the old data, and she tells you again, don't look at the old data. You won't listen to me. I know you won't. And then she despawns. And then the screen goes black. And it seems like everything is gone. But then, a bunch of real-life stuff just starts popping up on the screen. Files with names redacted out of them, driver's licenses of real people, just a bunch of really unsettling stuff. And Luke immediately panics, takes out the disc, and smashes it with a hammer. We don't know how long after this incident the next cutscene takes place, but Luke is very obviously rattled, and he's calling a news reporter. I think it's a newspaper. I don't remember. I'm pretty sure it's a newspaper. But he's calling someone to get the news out there that Game Funa, Inscryption's parent company, did something awful. But before he can tell anyone, the lady from before comes to his house, and as soon as he opens the door, she shoots him in the head and kills him instantly. And she steps over his corpse, takes what remains of the disc, and leaves. And that's how the game ends. Holy shit. So yeah, this game's story is absolutely insane. And if you're familiar with creepypastas, this might sound kind of like one of those. I feel like there's a lot of creepypastas where it's like, I found this old game, but it's actually haunted and evil. But I feel like this is that, but done really well. Really, really well. And outside of the story, everything else about it is really good too. I love all the characters so much. Like, Remora's, like, so sweet. Leshy is everything. I love Leshy. He's my favorite character in the entire game. He's just like a well-spoken little cryptid man who, like, just wants to play D&D with you. That is all he wants. He just wants to DM for you. That is his one goal in life. I mean, like, sure, he kills you, but, like, he doesn't actually kill you. He just kills like your little player character. It's fine. And like PO3 is such a delightful little shit. He's such an asshole, but like in a fun way. He's so petty. Like he's like if you put a card somewhere that he wouldn't put it, he's like total misplay. And like he like makes fun of you for being a gamer. Like he's such a dork. I love him. And then there's a bunch of little side characters. Like, so Magnificus has like these students that he's like abusing, and like he's like mutilates them and like promises like, hey, I'll give you like ultimate power and respect and I'll love you if you like let me decapitate you and put your head on a spike. Is that okay? But like the students themselves are awesome. Especially, there's this little guy called the Lonely Wizard, and he's just this little guy with giant eyes and this little green hat and this little green wizard hat, and he just like, he's so sad. He's trapped in like a void, like completely like no stimulation whatsoever. He's just left there for who knows how long. But he's such a cute little freak of him. I would buy a plushie of him immediately. Like, he's so like energetic. He's so cute. And there's this other guy, I think his name is Goobert. He's this little green goop man who's like trapped in a jar, because Magnificus was like, hey, if I turn you into goo, then it'll make you a better wizard or whatever, because Magnificus is the worst and I hate him. But Goobert, like, he literally, his entire goal is just for Magnificus to like him, and Magnificus never will. Like, Goobert literally makes like this adorable painting of Magnificus hugging him, and it's so freaking cute. But then once you get to Magnificus's inscription towards the end of the game, you see that painting just like X'd out and like whited out. Magnificus is such a bitch. He's so evil for no reason. I hate him. He's not even an asshole in the fun way like PO3 is. He's just straight up like an ass. He's just straight up like a jerk. But yeah, I like all his students though, and there's like this girl like with her head on a spike. She doesn't have as strong of a personality as the other two, but I do really enjoy her. And like Leshy has like little side characters too. But in his in the opening of the game, like his inscription, like he would put on masks and take on like their persona. But in the pixel world, like in the true inscription, they're their own characters. There's an angler who's just like a big dumb guy who likes fish, which is excellent. He's just he's just like a big stupid guy, and he likes fish, and that's like his only character trait. He likes fish, and he likes Leshy, and that's about it. And I love that for him. And then there's a prospector who likes gold, Leshy, and his dog. They're all so simple, but like, in like such an endearing way. And then there's, the trapper and the trader. And they're actually really cool. Like, their mask, they actually have the same mask, but like, if you have it at one angle, it's like the hunter, the trapper, and then if you flip it upside down, it turns into the trader, which is really cool. And like, again, they're pretty simple. Like, they just like pelts. They like animal pelts. One likes selling them, one likes buying them. But the trapper always seemed really sweet to me. Like, he seems like the least malicious of like Leshy's characters. Leshy's little OCs. Like, when you, like, start, like, throughout, like, the first part of the game, you don't fight him until, like, the boss fight. Like, you can, like, find him all over the maps, and you can buy pelts from him, and he's always really sweet. And, like, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think, like, if you don't have any money to buy pelts, he'll just give you one for free, because he really wants to share his pelts, which is so sweet and endearing. I love him so much. He's such a goober. And, yeah. I like all the characters, except for Magnificus, because he just abuses his students. and like he just emotionally manipulates them. He's such a dickhead. I hate him. But like, as I said, like in the story part of this video, like despite me hating him, I still feel really sad when he dies for some reason, because the writers are just incredible. And aside from the characters, I love the music. The music is so good. I wish I could play some for you, but I can't because copyright is scary. And even though I'm not monetized yet, I'm still very scared. I don't want to get in trouble with Papa YouTube. But yeah, the music, nothing but bangers. There is not a bad song in the track. Like, I dare you to find a bad song in this. It's so good. Everything is so good. The Prospector's theme especially is probably one of my favorites. So if you ever have a chance, definitely go check out the OST for this game. It's insanely good. And outside of the music, the rest of the sound design in this game is really good. Like, okay, usually I don't take notice of sound design in games. Like, I don't really care about that. I never really take notice of it. But in this game, it's so good. It feels like everything has weight. Like, I feel it's so... I don't really know how to describe it, but every little action has a noise, and like, it makes it feel more real. Like, even though the art style is a little bit cartoonish, like, I feel like I'm there. Like, just based on the sound design alone, which is insane. Like, I feel like it's almost like I can feel the texture of these things just based on how they sound. It's amazing. Like, genuinely like amazing. And the art style of this game, there's like two art styles. There's the 3D version and the pixel art, and both are really good. I especially love all the art on the Leshy cards, which I'm doing here for my characters, and like what happened to me, unfortunately. But like, all the art in this game is so beautiful. Like, the 3D models are crazy. Like, they're not the most, like, high graphic, I can't see every wrinkle I can't see every pore on their face, therefore it's bad. No, it's so good. Like, I can't fully describe it. Like, everything looks, like, dirty and, like, dingy, but, like, it makes it feel more real. Like, Leshy looks like a cryptid. Like, something that you would, like, see in the woods. And Gromora looks like a necromancer granny. The character designs in this game are so good. Magnificus is the only character design I don't fully understand, but I also hate Magnificus, so I don't care that he has one of the less interesting designs. But I still like his design. Like, he's just a little Christmas tree with glowing eyes, and that's honestly really endearing. Even though I hate him, I still like his design. He's really cute to look at. And then PO3 looks really cool. Like, especially in the 3D world where you're, like, staring into his monitor the whole time. And, like, you can see, like, dirt and, like, grime on his screen, like he's been there for a long time. Like, everything just looks so good. It just looks so good. I love it so much. And, like, the sound design contributes to this, but the atmosphere of this game is so good, especially in Leshy's cabin. Leshy's cabin is my favorite part of the game. Not because Leshy's my favorite character, obviously. And I like the beast cards the most. They're the most fun for me. But like, I love his cabin. It's like the perfect blend of being like cozy and also like unsettling. Like, there's just enough there to be like, I don't know, man. It's so good. I love it so much. Yeah, I just love everything about this game. There's nothing I don't enjoy about this game. Even, Magnificus is like a character that I enjoy hating. Like, it's not like I'm supposed to like him. Like, the game knows he's an asshole. Like, it goes out of its way to say that he's a complete asshole you're not supposed to really like. So I'm not annoyed by him. Like, it's just like, he's just like a little evil guy who's like fun to hate on. Yeah, just every aspect of this game is so enjoyable and charming. Like, it never gets too scary. Like, it never like does like, ooh, like spooky monster's gonna jump out and scare you. there's nothing wrong with jump scares, but like this is like, I don't know, it's like more like psychological. It's really well executed too. It's so, everything about this game is so well executed. I don't know, man. I'm obsessed with it. I can play it forever, and it will never get old to me. So, I'm still a card at the end of all this. Shit. Well, maybe, I mean, there's gotta be a way to get out of this. I mean, all the scribes got back to normal after they rebooted the game, so, maybe if I just ask Leshy nicely? I mean, I did praise him a lot, maybe he'll cut me some slack. Give me a second, guys, I'm gonna test something out. 3 hours later. I can't believe that worked. Well, looks like everything's back to normal. I'm still in paper, but it's my paper, baby. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you check out Inscryption in some way, and I hope you have a great night, day, or whatever time it is where you are. Cheers!